Welcome back to Walthamstow's Wrinkly Wetlands Walk number 2. Today we start our ramble around the southerly reservoirs 1, 2, 3 and 5 and including East Warwick. But I must repeat the start of intro of walk number 1 to help new ramblers who missed out. I found transport links very good getting to the wetlands, with Blackwell's Road and Tottenham Hale Underground Station just 2 bus stops or a 10-minute walk away from the reservoirs, and serviced by routes 123 and 230. Opening times are from 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, October to March, with last entry at 3 o'clock, and 9:30 to 5 o'clock in April to September, with last entry at 4 o'clock. Parking charges can be made by payment by card on exit in machine or in engine house. Limited parking with like charges in ferry boat inn opposite, payment by cash or card on entry. Gates are locked at closing time, so don't get locked in. Nice eating places are found in the ferry boat inn or the cafe within the engine house. Also picnic benches in the paddock beside the ferry boat inn or to the rear and side of the engine house for picnics or sandwiches and a cup of coffee. On entry to the engine house is the reception area, and any queries will be answered by staff who have great knowledge of the wetlands. There's a souvenir shop, cafe, photographic art display and upper viewing balcony. We actually start our ramble around the East Warwick Reservoir, where there's no cycling or jogging allowed. The right path leads to a restricted permit holder area, so we'll pop along to the left hand side of the pathway. Initially, I thought you could purchase permits, but they are allotted each April by application online, and only 75 permits issued annually. On the left of our pathway is a hide open to all, giving a great view of our reservoir. On Tuesdays and Saturdays between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, there's a guide to this hide, and it's certainly a must for me to return probably next Saturday. Further down to our left is an automated sludge dredger removing algae, moss, pondweed and stacks it neatly to one side. This will make a great spread over an allotment if you have one. Following on it leads to the copper mill, which we will visit a little later on in this ramble. Carrying on around the East Warwick, you can't help but admire how well the banks and the pathways are well maintained. It's a great credit to all concerned. The train lines to our left goes into Stratford, passing our Olympic Park. If you circumnavigate the East Warwick Reservoir, it should take you about 50 minutes to an hour at a leisurely pace. Following along the path, we leave East Warwick Reservoir and proceed across to the reservoirs 1, 2 and 3. These reservoirs run side by side, so we will explore them as one. There's a number of secluded nooks and crannies for fishermen to create their own private cosy space. Unsure if this cat belongs to the fisherman or he's discovered a great way to get a free breakfast. Strolling along these pathways, you can't help having a strong sense of a privileged seclusion of your own personal space and get a unique feeling of tranquility. Rambling along past reservoirs 2 and 3, we move past this outbuilding, which was first thoughts it was a toilet, but on closer inspection I believe it is some sort of incinerator. Since rambling around these wetlands, one thing is pleasantly missing. No litter. I haven't seen a beer can, Coke tin, dog end, not even a sweet wrapper. How nice it would be if people, including myself, respected our streets in the same way. Following on with reservoir number 1 to our right and number 3 to the left, leads onto two great places within our wetlands, the Woolley bird hide and the copper mill. Both have the advantage of being undercover, so a must-do visit if the weather is inclement. Strolling along, we come to the Woolley bird hide, and obeying the sign, we look up at the marble at the engineering feet of the pylon. It could have been the inspiration of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. Entering the hide, we are treated to a magnificent reservoir views, and the hide is kept extremely clean, making a 5-minute or indeed an hour's visit a real treat. It's a real credit to all the maintenance staff. Thank you. We leave the hide over a decked walkway, keeping your footing safe and indeed dry if the weather is wet. And we head along the pathway towards the copper mill. I think this area we are in is my favourite part of the wetlands, and we proceed past the Victorian reservoir interconnections. It gives the impression of an old Roman gladiator gate leading to the Colosseum, or maybe where they kept the lions. It was certainly a credit to the Victorians who knew how to build structure that last. We approach the must-visit part of the wetlands, which is the copper mill. Entering, you see a complete history of the premises, and in the late 18th century, early 19th century, the mill even had its own money tokens for its workers to be spent locally. Because of the remoteness of the situation, you're more than likely to have the place to yourself, weekdays at least. There's 4 staircases to climb to reach the viewing area, or there is a lift. Although it's a modern, fully alarmed, well-maintained lift, I would always have one of your party left outside the lift just because of its remoteness. Whatever route you choose, the view will be well worth the effort. Exiting the mill, we have another choice of leaving or indeed entering the wetlands, the copper mill gate leading to Copper Mill Lane. Turning left at the gate, there's a 10 to 15 minute stroll up Copper Mill Lane to the W12 bus stand, which goes past St James Street railway station, and terminates at Walthamstow Central. On your left is reservoir number 5, fenced off and mainly for fishermen and bird watchers. On your right is Thames water filter beds. In the 1980s this was earmarked for a helicopter port backed by our late Duke of Edinburgh, but obviously nothing came of that. I do hope I have whetted your appetite to visit our wetlands. Thank you for your company. So until next time,